Hi, love bugs. Welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly show. I'm your host, Kelly Chase. Okay, last week we talked about self-love and how to be single, whether you were in a relationship or married or actually literally single. And I'm kind of just going to piggyback off that. And I know I've called myself out on this before or alluded to it, but I was just listening to a podcast and I have to get this girl on on this show because I feel so like what she preaches. It's called Date Yourself Instead podcast. I love it. I love her podcast, but it's so much like I feel like I'm listening to myself. And she just said on her one of her recent episodes that she's like, I can give advice all day, but I realized that I wasn't necessarily like walking the walk and like doing what I'm preaching. And obviously, you guys have been listening to this show for a while, and I'm talking about self-love and self-worth and taking care of yourself and choosing you and putting up boundaries and all the things. And I have a tendency to do the same. And I think that, few handful of episodes ago about the gray area conversation, that had a lot to do with that. Was I was like, I'm telling this, but I'm doing this. I'm saying this, but I'm doing this, or I'm doing this, but I'm saying this. And it was like eating at me that I was not in alignment with who I know I am and who I know I am aspiring to be and to become, and just really like who I know I am. Because the advice that I give people and the advice that I give you guys here on the show is like what obviously I have to be doing as well. That's how I become, like I embody it, right? So anyways, but I'm like listening to her episodes and I'm like, oh my God, like this is like exactly what I have been sharing with my audience, not to necessarily the extent. I mean, she's extremely niche with her podcast. Obviously, it's called Date Yourself Instead. But have to get her on the show. I just want to hear her story. I want to see there's just a lot of similarities in like her dating experience too. I don't know. I'm like resonating really hard, but then obviously the tips and the advice that she's giving, I feel like is what I share and she freaking love it. So anyways, I want to ensure that I am doing that. And just, I don't want to get on here and then, like say something and then you see my Instagram or maybe you see me out in public and I'm doing the opposite, right? I don't want to be that person. It makes me feel icky. It makes me feel like a hypocrite, all of that. So anyways, all that to say, I want you to remember how worthy you are of the most beautiful relationship, the most magical relationship. And it all starts with you. It really does. And I've even had conversations lately, just about the podcast, about life and relationships and dating and how much mental health is so important and so connected with our relationships. Like if you are not strong mentally, emotionally, mentally, it causes problems in a relationship. It just does. And or your spouse or the person that you're trying to date, if they have like I say these, maybe you don't want to like it is mental health. I mean, everything is mental health, but so much is mental health, but like your attachment style. So an anxious attachment style, an avoidant attachment style, it's due to certain things that can affect your mental health, particularly anxious attachment style. Of course, you can have anxiety or paranoia. So it's all intertwined. And I wanted to highlight that because sometimes when people ask me, oh, what's your podcast about? I'm like, well, we hone in on these three topics of mental health, relationships, and entrepreneurship. Honestly, I want to say the entrepreneurship side of things. Of course, majority of the people on my show, a majority of the guests on the show are entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurial minded. And the reason why I have that, pillar, I guess, is because there's so much Like when you are an entrepreneur, your mental health is affected, your relationships are affected, or all that can be, right? And your relationships can be affected because you're an entrepreneur. Let's say you're going like balls to the wall in your business, or maybe you're just entrepreneurial minded and you treat your career like your own business. Your clients are like as if you literally had your own business. They are your pride and joy, and you take good care of them. I feel like that's what I do in my 9 to 5, is run my business like a bit, like I run it as a business. Like these are my clients. Like, yeah, they're my company's clients, but they're my clients. And but if I get too busy, which I have been, I actually this last week have been like, Kelly, it's okay. I've been having conversations with myself, like, because I have a tendency to like stack things onto my plate and then I go into like exhaustion and overwhelm and I create more anxiety because I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting this done. I'm not getting this done. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, but Kelly, you're doing so much other stuff. You're seeing your numbers grow, sales wise, like you're okay. So I had a heart to heart with myself earlier this week, last week, and I was like, Kelly, you do what you can because you're doing the best that you can. And I feel like that's, I was telling people, I'm like, I think it's a defense mechanism that I stack things on my plate because I feel like I'm not doing enough because we are a society, a cultural society that has been programmed that the more that we do, the harder we work, the more valuable or the more worthy that we are. And I'm doing a lot. I'm traveling. I'm exhausted. I mean, I have to I have to wake up in less than 12 hours from recording this show right now, less than 12 hours to hop on a plane to go to New York, to go to my cousin's wedding, for a couple of days. And then I fly directly from New York down to Jacksonville. I'm there like just hitting the pavement. And then I fly back early Thursday morning, hit the pavement here again in Atlanta for 2 days. And I honestly cannot wait until next weekend because I just want to chill. um, but all that to say, I recognize these things and I share this with you because I know so many of you are this way too. I mean, you probably wouldn't be listening to my show if you didn't have a very similar mindset and or weren't open to what I share with you guys. So I feel like you may be a very ambitious person, a very much a go-getter, and you want to accomplish, you want to succeed. And maybe your definition of success is a little bit different. Or maybe your definition of success is what you think it should be versus what you want it to be. Maybe your definition of success is what you think it should be, not what you want it to be. I repeated that so that you could hear it again. Because I think that's it. I've been getting into burnout and I am tired. And it may be a little bit of like the time change or whatever, but like I have been tired. Like by 3 o'clock, I am exhausted this week. I didn't even get up and work out today. I didn't even like barely move my body except for like going around to my clients today. But being an entrepreneur, being extremely ambitious can really affect our mental health and our relationships because of the fact that we have tied a story with success and our worth. We're more worthy when we do more. The more you do, the more worthy you are, the harder you work, the more money you'll make. And so you keep doing that. And I just say bullshit to that. I have learned from the like most prestigious business, mindset, relationship, life coaches out there. I've learned from such incredible people. And literally, that is like what they say all the time. Like, the more, like, you don't have to do more. Like, money is just energy, it's circulating all the time. So it doesn't matter how hard you work or how little you work, money is still around us. Okay. So it's the value that you're putting out to the world, it's the service that you're giving. What are you doing to serve the world? With a balance of, okay, I need to exercise, I need to move my body, I also need to rest. when it is time to rest. And sometimes you're like, well, I don't know. There is no time to rest. I have no time because I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. First of all, let's calm down. Let's re-regulate the nervous system. Let's do some breath work, meditation, go read, go plant your feet in grass, do some grounding, and calm down. Have a reset day. Like I would really strongly encourage you, like every week, at least one time, at least one day, to like try to do as little as possible and just reset. It is about boundaries. It's about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. That goes for everything. So to help and improve your mental health, you have to put in boundaries. To improve your relationship, you have to implement boundaries. To be a successful, quote unquote, entrepreneur or career professional, you have to implement boundaries, because otherwise you will burn out and you will get sick, and then you won't be able to show up as your best self for any of it. I know I've said that before, but you are so worthy. And if you are in a relationship where you feel like someone is bringing you down, again, you focus on you and continue to rise up. And if that person is inspired, and I hope that they are, if they're inspired by you, they will want to do the work with you and they will rise alongside of you. But if they're not, you're going to leave them behind, and that's okay. And or you can love them for where they're at. But if you are honestly, you have to get so freaking truthful with yourself. Get really honest with yourself. Am I happy in this? Like, what if maybe you've gone on 2 dates with a guy and he's already just like not showing up the way that you really want him to? What do we think about that? Like, what are you taking away from you by allowing certain behaviors from your significant other, romantic partner, romantic interest? What are you allowing but taking away from you? Where are you making yourself available for them? Where are you being inconvenienced for them? Where do you not honor your boundaries? I just want to remind you how amazing you are. You are so amazing. And I'm so happy that I get to, connect with you on this level. We're going to have a speaker. It probably won't air until beginning of 2025, but we are going to have a repeat guest speaker come on the podcast. Well, I hope so. I hope we do. It is booked. The interview is booked, but we're going to dive deeper into relationships. And I'm really excited about it because I feel like if you want some guidance right now before that episode comes out, definitely send me an Instagram message. Of course, we have Goddess Magic. You could go through that course, but if you're looking for like a one-on-one or like some more intimate support from a group, like from maybe a one-on-one coach or group coaching program or something, I have resources. I've worked with a handful of these people that are powerful. They're extremely incredible. And like I said on the last episode, I have awareness. I always have the awareness. But even if I'm not doing the things that I'm advising, offering tips on, it's not because I don't know the information. It's because I haven't fully embodied it, or I have a little bit of fear, or maybe a lot of fear, or maybe it all comes down to fear. Let's just put it that way. It all comes down to fear. I have the awareness. I know exactly what to do. I could like snap my fingers and be like, nope, done with that. Like, even if you look around your house, take an audit of things, like go into your living room right now and look at your living room space and be like, does everything in this room give me joy? Does it really spark like joy to me? If it doesn't, like, get rid of it, put it in a pile next to your front door and get rid of it. Because that is how you need to train your body and your brain to make decisions. That person doesn't serve me, get rid of it. That role at work, not so much. I don't love this. This isn't serving me. Maybe I'll do it until I can find something else, but get rid of it. Get rid of the things that don't serve you. Again, you have one life to live, so start living. Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing? Start living your life. You're a beautiful, amazing, incredible, empowered, ambitious lighthouse, and the world needs more of you. So let's find our passion, find our purpose, and guess what? You already have it. It's inside of you right now. All you got to do is start doing what I'm doing, sharing about it, talking about it. You don't necessarily have to start a podcast. I highly encourage it, but you don't have to start a podcast to do it. You can start talking to your friends, your people you go to church with. Start doing stuff for you that lights you up from the inside out, and people can feel that energy. People can feel your vibration, your frequency, because that's exactly what happens when you start to share who you really are. That's your purpose, and people feel that you vibrate at a particular frequency. And the more that you can, or the quicker, I guess the faster that you can make logical decisions, or maybe they're not even logical. Maybe they're sometimes like, okay, I don't know, but like this sounds better. This feels better inside my body. A lot of times, like obviously our intuition in our gut may clench. Our gut may clench when there's a decision that needs to be made and there's fear wrapped around it. Or there's a certain emotion, the attachment style starts coming in, or a familiarity. And the familiarity could be based on a trauma. So you really have to listen to your gut and be like, okay, is my gut clenching because this is like a trauma response? Or is my gut clenching because this is a fear of letting go because I know that there's something greater, but I'm afraid to like let go of the thing that feels really comfortable for the greater because I don't know what the greater is going to feel like, but you know it's going to be greater. Choose you. Choose what is going to light you up. Choose what is going to make you feel really good. And that goes back to relationships. You have to create and cultivate this beautiful relationship with yourself. And as you study yourself, so going through the Goddess Magic program, you're going to be studying yourself because I ask a lot of questions about you. How do you feel about this? What's your story about this? What are limiting beliefs you feel about money? What are limiting beliefs you feel about success? What are limiting beliefs you feel around your relationship? Where are your boundaries? All these things. It's helping you to be more aware of who you are so that you can show up at a different frequency and be the version of you that you really crave to be, who is that empowered goddess, right? Who is able to make quick decisions that are in alignment with her goals, where she wants to go, who she wants to be, what she wants to be, do, have. That is for you, and you're freaking worthy of it all. You are. So worthy. Anyways, I'm keeping it short. I could go on and on and on. I wish all of you were sitting in front of me because I would literally just like hug you all and give you like, I would be like, what is your biggest struggle right now? What is your biggest struggle right now? What's challenging you the most? And all the answers, all the responses. Gosh, maybe I'll write them in, maybe send me a DM and be like, this is what I'm feeling challenged with most right now. Maybe it's not even about relationships, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be because relationships is like the biggest thing. You may be like, oh, I'm feeling really challenged about the way that I feel about like my body image or something. Well, how does your body image and the way you feel about yourself affect relationships and how you show up? Are you really insecure? Do you wear very loose clothing? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like everything is connected. Everything is super connected. So maybe I do. I do want to ask you, please send me a DM if you're listening to this episode, and please share this episode with friends. But if you're listening to this episode, please send me a DM of the thing that you are feeling most challenged by so that I can offer you some advice. And what I might do, if I get enough responses, I will do like an episode and respond to these questions or challenges, thoughts, challenging thoughts, I guess, on the podcast. And so other people can hear your questions because there's going to be someone that is in a very similar space as you that needs to hear this information too. And I'd love to share my insights because I feel like after working and spending lots of money on these mentors, that I feel like I can offer some pretty sound advice that is going to take in perspectives from both parties, and you may not even have a party. Again, you may be completely single. You may be single. And that's okay, but you may be like, well, but it's hard putting myself out there. I'm really busy with my career. I don't really want to focus. I don't even want to focus on dating right now. Then that's okay. Then maybe you're going to come to me and be like, yeah, you know what? I honestly am like loving my life right now. I'm absolutely loving my life. And sure, I would love to make more money, or I would love to lose 10 pounds, or I would love to like, I don't know, have a better community of women to connect with or something. Like whatever you feel like, because all of us are struggling with something at some point. I mean, it could be a pimple, and literally my like, if you're watching YouTube, my nose is a little red because I just got done picking my nose. Not picking, oh my God, that sounded terrible. Not picking my nose, but like picking, popping zits, popping pimples. And you can't even see it, hopefully not, but there's a little reddish on my cheek too, because there's a lovely little monster deciding to flare up right before I go out of town. Anyways, but I just wanted to remind you how worthy you are. I love you guys so much. Please share, rate, review, download the episodes. We're getting into it. Like, I am really excited about this show. I really am. And I can't wait for more. But yeah, I have to go finish packing and get to bed because again, I'm extremely exhausted. But I guess that was just like another self-love riff and just reminding you, focus on you, create your foundation, and anything that you add to your life, it's just to complement it. Okay. But never let your foundation falter, because if your foundation falters, it means you're allowing your past programming to enter the picture again, which is fine, because that's just, hey, okay, cool. This is like just another area that I like want to make better decisions around. And again, you're not fixing yourself. It's just, okay, I can make an improvement in this area. I would love to improve this area so that I can like just live a more beautiful, extraordinary life. And we all deserve that. So there we go. All right. I love you guys so much. Can't wait to hear from you in the DMs. You can do Chase Life with Kelly or Chase Life with Kelly podcast. Either DM is fine, or either Instagram account is fine. But thank you so much for showing up again. You are amazing. Never forget it. Love you. Good night. Bye.